Anyways, I'm just gonna. There we go. I'm gonna mute my computer. Welcome, welcome. This is Super Death Grind, episode 8.4 of 104. This is 104 weeks, aka 2 years of vicious death grind. Just documenting my experiences, guys. What's going on? So yesterday I was doing some screen share stuff, and it didn't come through. So I'm going to reattempt to reiterate what I said yesterday, partially because it's going to segue into what I have to say today. And yes, the pirate stash still going on. I love it. It's beautiful. Look at that. Look at that little hipster pirate stash. Great. Great. So, a couple things I want to talk today about. I'm just going to make some notes. Today is October 23rd. Um, it is currently 2:07 a.m. Wait, I'm just making some notes. Scribble and scribble. Okay. Let's go. So, part of what I'm doing right now is I'm getting off caffeine. Here's what I've noticed about caffeine. There's been times where my wife has switched the coffee over to decaf and I haven't really noticed it. But aside from like a week or two mesocycle of getting off caffeine, I mean, I've been off caffeine since I started drinking caffeine, really, which is, I don't know, 15, 16, right? When do kids start drinking Red Bulls? Was Red Bull even a thing when I was a kid? I doubt it. Now I'm curious. We have to Google. When did Red Bull come out? 1987, believe it or not, guys. That's the year I was alive. Wow. 1987. So I was probably drinking Red Bull in high school and stuff like that. I was never really a big coffee drinker until I got into kind of the work environment, maybe around 21 or 22. I was in sales, and that's what people do, right? You drink coffee till the cows come home. You have to in sales. So yeah, and part of the reason why is shout out to my boy Alex Becker for putting this in simple terms, but a dopamine detox, right? I want to get rid of the majority of the things that give me dopamine rushes in life, including this screen that I'm staring at right here someday, but not today. So some things I'm doing, I don't typically I don't get on social media anymore unless it's to post something or to post something for business or to respond to business. And even then I try to only go on my computer social media as opposed to the phone app just because of that dopamine rush. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, although today I really want to watch a movie. I'm thinking Troy because it's on Netflix, and Troy is a fantastic movie, or A Knight's Tale. That's what I'm thinking right now. But I really want to watch a movie, and part of the reason why is if you do extreme work, extreme sacrifices, that if you get rid of the things that give you dopamine, sugar, caffeine, social media, it makes the hard things not seem so hard because when you zone out, you take an hour out of your life, scrolling through a Facebook feed, 5 minutes or whatever, it gives you a dopamine response that it's just really hard to get in the natural world. If you're playing a video game, you're watching a movie, you're scrolling through crazy Instagram photos of people on beaches and stuff like that with Ferraris. The rush you get, the dopamine release you get on that on a physiological and a psychological level is really hard to match in the real world, especially when we're doing day-to-day normal stuff. So part of what I'm doing is a dopamine detox, doing a lot of different things, but some of my main focuses right now are, part of the dopamine detox is getting off caffeine. I'm trying to be a little bit more lean. As I stated before, I believe the body and mind function a little bit better when you're leaner. You don't store, I'm going to use that keyword toxins because toxins, quotations on that, are primarily stored in the fat in the body. So if you don't have a lot of fat stored already, you're probably not going to store a lot of things in your fat. So doing polyphasic sleeping, no biggie there. Doing some business stuff. So not really focused on saying the business stuff here because it's a separate world. I'm more so documenting my process and some of my thoughts and other things like that. And I want to, separate this and, I'll talk about like certain family things as I see how they pertain to real life and lessons learned and things like that. But I don't need to get into the minor minutia and bore you with all that stuff. So, um, yeah, so that's basically that. So, yesterday I was talking about um, getting off caffeine, having really high energy levels lately. So lately, my energy levels have been the best they've ever been, and it's 2:11 in the morning, and I feel pretty great right now. I'll probably get in a little baby nap sometime this morning, maybe like a 30-minute power nap here. And a lot of times when I do get only a 2-hour solid block at night, although I don't always feel like I need it, I kind of force myself to take a 30-minute nap. Part of the cool thing about when I take that baby nap, probably between like 6 to 7 a.m., is I get crazy dreams. I don't know what it is about that power nap, but I just have insane dreams that I remember vividly. It's really awesome. So that's kind of cool. But yesterday I was basically talking about thermoregulation, energy balance. When when you're on a diet, you have to eat less calories than you burn. You just have to. So I was basically talking about thermoregulation and how it pertains to that, and not drinking a huge influx of water. And when I do drink an influx of water, it's typically at night or in the early morning. Which reminds me, I'm gonna have some of this life water because it's purified water with electrolyte sodium bicarbonate. What's up, sodium bicarbonate? I do like drinking water in the early morning, but I don't like drinking it during the day too much just because I feel like it affects with hunger signaling. I don't need to get into what I said yesterday, but also not only does it affect hunger signaling, I believe, when you drink water in bigger quantities, but it also affects thermoregulation, most notably when you're on a caloric deficit diet. So the past couple days, I've been sleeping longer than normal. So I don't know if it was this week or last week, but I had an 8-hour sleep day because I felt like there was a lot of colds and sicknesses going around. It's just that time of year. I don't think it's the COVID out there, guys. I mean, I'm sure it's out there, but it's just cold and flu season. It is what it is. Happens every year. Can't forget. But I felt like a little tickle maybe in my throat, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I melatonined up, NyQuil'd up, got a solid 8 hours sleep, and then went back to normal schedule the next day or so, if I remember correctly. And then the last couple nights, I've been getting like 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep, which is just far too much sleep for me to get stuff done. So I had I usually drink an insane amount of water at night, anywhere from a half gallon to a gallon of water. And I stopped that because, of that thermoregulation thing. So by the way, I'm really toasty right now because I ate a lot of food and we'll get into that last night. But I so let me try and do my screen share. Let's see. Screen share. Um, application window. I'm gonna share this. Okay. Showing stream. Okay, beautiful. So let's see. Okay, great. When did Red Bull come out? So, all right. So we're gonna do this drawing, and I'm just gonna open my phone right here, and I'm gonna make sure that this is showing on the live stream because I need it to be. Come on, email. Got to connect to the Wi-Fi and bump up this speed. All right, so I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and see if we're actually screen sharing, guys, because I need it to screen share. Great. We're doing a screen share. All right, so I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna see. Let's see. Oh, okay. Maybe, maybe I'm back. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah. So I mean, I guess I could open my app thingy and see what's going on here. Um, but so yeah, I need to do a little bit more research and see if there is any scientific literature out there or even any anecdotal stuff um, from people talking about. No, it just looks like it screens and screens and screens. I don't want to. I don't want to screen share anymore, man. Oh, I think I'm back. I think I'm good. I think we're good. Sorry, technical difficulties. New program, and I haven't tried it out. But you know, I don't have time to test things out. So here I am. Bear with me. Learn as we go, right? So, anyways, yeah, I need to just do a little bit more research, and I need to see if anyone does have any anecdotal and or real literature on drinking water, how it affects the thermoregulation. You know, because one of my hypotheses is here, hypotheses, is that when you go on a calorically restrictive, you know, you have any sort of reduction where you're eating less calories than you're burning for the energy expenditure to lose weight, is that if you drink a bunch of water, it actually deregulates core temperature in a negative way. So I need to do some more research and see if anything like that currently exists. So that's basically that. So sleep, man, I don't know what it was, but last night wanted sugar so bad. So I haven't been having any sugar either. I'm There's probably some trace sugar in like salad dressing and those sorts of things. It's really minimal. Truthfully, I probably have less than 10 grams of sugar a day when it's all said and done. But you know, as part of the dopamine detox, there, no sugar. So eating pretty healthy. But I wanted sugar so bad. I don't know what it was. My hunger signalings were all wacky yesterday, and I so most of the time I fast. I'll fast most days for, you know, 20 to 22 hours, and I don't think I've given enough merit to how much caffeine actually reduces hunger signaling. It is an amazing thing to reduce hunger signaling. You know, that's scientifically proven. So yeah, yesterday, I mean, I wasn't really tired. I had pretty constant energy levels, but I was so hungry at some points. Usually, the hunger, if I do get hungry fasting, for me on a 20 to 22-hour fast cycle, never really hits me until about 4 o'clock. But yesterday, I was just feeling it all day. So, yeah, actually didn't get a chance to work out yesterday. So here's some changes I made in my militant twist. Is I didn't work out just because I didn't get a chance to work out. And you know, I know people are like, oh, you gotta make time to work out, man. It's, you know, you everyone has like 30 minutes a day. I do not actually. I do not, because there are more important things to me than spending 2 hours in a gym every day at this point in my life. It's just not going to happen, and it can't happen. Literally, physically, could not happen with my schedule. So, um, I spent, you know, I have a little workout setup. I can work out over here in the office. I can work out. I have a little mini gym set up downstairs in my building. You know, so it takes me 15 minutes when it's all said and done to change, work out, shower, and come back up here. I just didn't have the 15 minutes to spare because when I get out of here, I have a family that I need to attend to. And I just, you know, it's, you know, working out can't take precedent over my family and my business right now. It just can't. I need to be healthy, and I won't let myself regress the other direction. But I do that through, you know, controlled dieting. I think the longest I've not worked out in, you know, since the start of the year is probably 2 days in a row. So, um, I mean, we could hop into, you know, now that I'm just rambling along. So, you know, I've done a lot of, you know, different like sports. I did MMA for a long time in my adult life, mixed martial arts. You know, I did a lot of running, I did powerlifting, Olympic lifting, bodybuilding style workout. And then over the last few years, I adopted more of a full body exercise routine that I would do anywhere from 3 to 6 days a week, mostly compound moves, you know, like chin up. I don't do like squats or deadlifts anymore because I actually have a fake hip. So I don't do squats or deadlifts anymore. I just don't see the overall benefit for longevity in life. So, you know, I would do like weighted lunges or plyometrics for legs or something like that. You know, I just don't see the need to squat 2 to 500 pounds anymore. It just doesn't make sense for me, when I have kids and I want to run and play with them, when I'm 50, 60, 70. So, and they're babies. So when COVID hit was actually a beautiful thing for me because I was still doing full body, probably 2 to 4 days a week. I was doing a full body routine. It would take about 45 minutes. Sometimes I would do some light cardio in there, walking, elliptical, and then occasionally high intensity interval, for the cardio aspect to get that heart rate up there. But when COVID hit, I primarily switched to body weight training. And what I found that is I lost very little, if anything, when it pertains to muscle mass and or strength. And I don't know if this is because lifting weights is overhyped or it's just a lot easier to maintain what you've built up over the years by doing body weight and that kind of stimulus thing. So basically, my workout routine is when I started COVID, I would just go straight for 30 minutes AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. And I would do 10 pull ups or chin ups. I would vary my grip from wide grip, short grip, neutral grip, chin up. And then I would do 20 lunge variations, whether it's walking lunge, jumping lunge, lunging in place, lunging backwards. I would do 10 V ups or 10 ab wheels and then 25 push ups. And then I would basically just repeat this process as many times as possible for 30 minutes. And I would, kind of keep track of, like 17 and a half rounds is, I think was my best in 30 minutes. So since I've gotten more busy with the creation of my new business, really I've only been able to dedicate about 10 minutes a day to exercise. So basically what I'll do is I'll either do that same workout routine and I'll do 10 rounds as fast as possible, or I'll just go for 10 minutes. And most of the time it boils down to I just do 10 rounds, which takes me anywhere from like 6 to 10 minutes, depending on how hard I'm giving her that day. But I've basically been doing that. And I've seen positive changes in body composition through dieting. I haven't really seen loss of muscle mass in, like physical size, like measurements, and or just overall look aesthetics, when you look at yourself in the mirror. So I just find that really interesting because, everyone's like, oh, I'm on a maintenance routine. I'm, working out 5 days a week. I just don't think you have to. Anecdotally, I mean, maybe I'm in an anomaly physically, but I doubt it. I think I have horrible genetics. So I think it's just really overhyped in the modern fitness culture as to what you have to do. Because why is everything overhyped? There's money involved, right? Gyms would go out of business if you could work out 10 minutes a day and have a solid diet and be in baller shape. And I do think I'm in pretty good shape right now. Again, I said yesterday I'm anywhere from 5 to 8% body fat. I would guesstimate, just because I don't know and I don't care to know. I just know I want to get leaner. So, it's a trivial thing to keep track of body fat to me personally. When I was younger, I used to obsess over things like that. And I just, I mean, I'm either lean enough or I'm not lean enough. I'm either going to diet down or I'm not going to diet down. It's really that simple. The scale, I haven't actually weighed myself in some time. I have no idea what I weigh right now. I know how my clothes fit, know how I look in the mirror. Good enough for me. Cool. Great. Um, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, when controlling body composition is just going to be diet. I mean, 95% of body composition is going to be diet. And, that saying you can't out exercise a poor diet is true. And you shouldn't have to exercise your way into body composition. Now, there are some caveats to that, right? You want to be a competitive bodybuilder. Like, this is your job. You're an Instagram fitness thingy. You're on steroids. Like, there's certain extremes to where this doesn't make sense. But for the average human, who's not going to step on a stage or who doesn't make money by taking their shirt off, bro, you don't need a gym. You just don't. Um, Sad but true, because I wasted a lot of my life in a gym, and it took me until 33 to figure this out. So sad but true. Um, Booze. How do I feel about booze? I like it. So I actually started the year. This is going to sound really interesting to some of you. So I started the year not drinking this year. I think, was it this year? Maybe, yeah, maybe it was this year. So I think last year my wife and I, we did sober October, I believe, which was good. And then we started drinking back up uh, in right after that November probably. And I wouldn't say I went on a bender, but I was definitely probably drinking more than I should. And then, we both kind of agreed that, hey, at the start of the year, let's not drink. So at that point, I was committed to not drinking for the entirety of the year. And when I commit to things, I'm pretty hard headed. But I also know committing to things that end up becoming a detriment to life are stupid, and you shouldn't do it just to see a commitment through, unless that thing is, like family, marriage, religious reasons, that sort of thing. So, just because you make an idea and you say something, like, here's the thing, man, you can have a dream of, I want to be a quilt designer, and then you could do quilt design and you're like, I actually hate quilt design. uh, I'm going to do something else. That's totally fine. You should be able to change your mind. Just because you have a good idea or a thought or want to do something doesn't mean in the long run it's for you, because you never know until you try. You try something, maybe you love it, maybe you're going to do it for the rest of your life, maybe you try it, maybe you hate it. So it wasn't until uh, Easter, maybe, or right after Easter, so around that time, where I started drinking again. Maybe went on a little bit of a bender then. Congratulations, James. But since then, so I listened to some interesting things. So it was someone's son. I can't remember if it was Warren Buffett's son or Ray Dalio's son. They were talking about like depression and bipolar. So I do have like a history of depression and bipolar in my family. So I believe I'm susceptible to those things. Um, and on a personal level, I mean, I've experienced depression at scale. So depression is awful. Don't be depressed. It sucks. Get help. Um, but an interesting thing about alcohol, what I find is typically I would overdrink, and I just chalk that up to college days. Woo. Um, but what they were saying is that one of their sons was depressed, and they really looked into it with like psychologists, and they have a bunch of money, so they could dump hundreds of thousands of dollars on like studies, and like um, the CT scans and how things affect there. And I'm sure they did, because they're billionaires. But um, the the thing they were saying is that when someone is depressed or bipolar, they drink, and it is the act of physiologically, the more drunk you get, that dopamine rush that creates is what they're chasing, which is why when you drink you tend to overdrink, because you're constantly chasing, I want to get more drunk, I want to get more drunk, I want to get more drunk. Most specifically when depression or bipolar is a part of some of your psychological genetic makeup or whatever. So I have found, for me, that tends to be true, because when I drink, like, I know some people are like, oh, I like the taste of beer and I just want to have a beer. Here's the thing, man, when I drink, I want to feel the buzz, or I want to get drunk, right? Good or bad, I don't know, but that's just the truth. And it's important to be honest with yourself so you can overcome certain issues. So what I have found about alcohol is that now I limit myself, I moderate myself hard. And the best way to do that is, if you buy alcohol, don't buy like a 12 pack, right? Buy a few drinks. Because now what are you going to do? Go drunk and drive to the store to get more? I don't think so. So that's how I moderate myself now, is I just don't buy more booze than I'm going to drink in that night or that day. So what I found myself doing is little Bacardis every now and then. Um, I'll drink a couple of those and I slam them down, and then, cut myself off no more. And what I have found is that because I don't know if you guys have ever done this. Excuse my language. You check some vodka, right? You're like, woo, I am drunk, right? And so what I found is, I'm not saying I get viciously drunk, because I never have more than 2 to 4 drinks. But if I have it all at once, that that I don't know. I don't even know what to call this or classify this as, but that drunkenness of going from zero to, wow, I'm drunk, it tends to do it for me when I'm like, wow, I don't need any more alcohol. So as long as I go from 0 to 60 and then I just cut myself off, alcohol tends to be a non-issue. In fact, sometimes I feel like cognitively I function better when I do have alcohol. And the only type of alcohol I really let myself drink on a normal, regular interval is clear distilled spirits, and most notably Bacardi. Why it's a clear spirit? There's less crap in there. You know, when you get these whiskeys or these other things, there's just different agents they use, and it's sitting in a barrel, and maybe there's propylene glycol in there, a fire retardant, which can't be good for you. And I just feel like there's just really negative things in itself, because if you're drinking alcohol, the closer you can get to straight ethanol. I'm not saying drink ethanol at home, kids. That is not what I'm saying. The closer you can get to straight ethanol, I mean, that's what makes you buzz, what makes you drunk, and it doesn't have all those other negative additives in there. So, um, and also Bacardi, because it's low calorie, right? Um, but I feel like alcohol actually has a lot of beneficial effects that no one really talks about. Sure, it's a depressant. Um, I think it's, for me at least, it's appetite suppressant. Um, Cognition wise, I actually, if I didn't have alcohol the night before to looking at the day after, I would argue that I function cognitively better drinking alcohol the night before. And again, this is not in excess, right? If I'm having 12 drinks, I'm going to feel it the next day and life's going to suck. But if I just have a couple drinks, yeah, I feel like I mentally perform better and physically perform really well too. And I think, we've all heard that thing, like a glass of wine or a couple glasses of red wine. And I know there's resveratrol and, um, you know, uh, what else is in grapes? I don't know. There's other stuff there too. But so there's some other beneficial things in wine. But I think part of what may be beneficial in wine itself is just the alcohol. And I don't think anyone really talks about this. I haven't really researched it, but we need to. So I'm not against alcohol as long as it's done responsibly. It doesn't cause personal conflict. It's not affecting work. You're not doing things you shouldn't be doing drunk or buzzed. You're not drinking and driving. So I think alcohol has a lot of positive beneficial effects if you can do it responsibly, which moderation is always the hardest thing of anything. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Wow, rambling for 30 minutes. I could ramble all day long about stuff. What's going on with you, James? So that's it for today. If you watch this, I appreciate you. Um, Remember out there to be great human beings to one another, and yeah, be nice to each other, man. It helps. The best thing you can do in life is be nice to other people and live by the golden rule. So